Hello, welcome to Chat UTD. This is my post-match reaction to Crystal Palace nil, Man United nil. Frustrating, really, that wasn't it? I think the first half, I think we could have been 3 or 4 nil up. We played some really good football. We dominated the game. We had some very good chances, some half chances. It was a nice flow to our play. I thought um, we created different types of chances, which was good to see. There was a variety to the football. It was quick. It was incisive. Nice patterns of play. Good understanding, nice cohesion. Really, the only thing missing was the finishing touch. Um, really, probably carried on like that at the start of the second half, but as the game wore on, Palace got a bit more control. Again, Palace made a couple of subs, which, whilst it didn't get them on top, it certainly seemed to stem the tide in terms of our dominance. And again, I don't think we didn't really look to counter those substitutions or know how to get back in control of the game, having been so dominant. Um, and in the end, to be fair, um, was it Eze had he had two really good chances, but one in the second half where he's got to bury it, and I know Nana's double save as well actually. And actually, I feel a bit better that they had those chances because I think had it been 0-0 and they hadn't have had those chances, you're thinking we've just been absolutely robbed there. Like, how have we not won the game when we've been so dominant in it? But I guess they might point to those chances as well and say they should have won. And again, at least we didn't lose the game late in the day like we did at Brighton. Um, I've used the word consistency a lot over the last couple of weeks, and in terms of results, okay, a draw away at Palace isn't a disaster, but it's not the result we wanted. But in terms of consistency of performance, I thought we got that. Just obviously couldn't get over the line and win the game. And some details. I mean, I shouldn't have to qualify it, but I will. I'm Bruno's biggest fan. He was poor. He was very very wasteful in possession today. Um, not his best day at all. And I wouldn't say he missed like clear cut chances or anything, but when he had chances, he didn't make the most of them. Xerxes, he don't think he looks. I don't think he looks urgent enough. I don't think he looks proactive enough. I don't think he looks aggressive enough. And he's a big old lad, and big young lad, and he should be. I think he should be making more of a nuisance of himself than he was. Didn't think he played particularly well today. Eriksen was good. His set piece delivery most of the time is decent. De Ligt obviously first half had two headers, but one was a really massive opportunity. As I said a couple of weeks ago or last week, it's good to have a centre back that I feel is a threat in the opposition box. I've been calling for Rashford to be on the bench for like a year, and he's been absolute shit. And he has his best week in 18 months, and Ten Hag puts him on the bench. He's a strange duck, is Ten Hag. He really is. It's a fucking oddball decision to make to me. I just don't know what the justification for that is. And look, Rashford has been incredibly fortunate to play the amount of time that he's played over the last year or so. And also, he has to be resilient to the fact that the manager's chosen him to be a sub today. Then he's chosen you to be a sub, and you've got to continue in the right vein. You've got to know your players. And that's when he came on. I looked at him and I thought, right, nice one, Eric. You've just any urgency, any kind of change in body language that we've seen over the last week, you've just killed it dead. Well done, great man management. Unless something's gone on behind the scenes that we don't know about, there's a lad there who's been toss for a year and a half. Clearly, I think having a bit of an identity crisis as a player, I think, and really probably needs to move on. You've stuck by him. He's had a great week where he scored at Southampton, led the line really well against Barnsley, and I thought looked like a leader against Barnsley in those very unique circumstances. Fair enough, but nonetheless, people say he's got given him confidence, given momentum. We're starting to see a little bit more positivity in his outlook, in his body language and stuff. And then you put him on the bench. It's terrible management in my opinion. He should have been on the bench for the best part of the last year, and he hasn't been, and now you put him on the bench. It's weird. And as I say, when he came on, it was back to jogging around, not jumping for balls, didn't look interested. And listen, you've got to have character as a player. You've got to be resilient. But I don't particularly think he is. And the manager's got to know that. Really, really, really weird decision from Ten Hag. And I think some of the things that he said in the press conference were weird. When he said about Rashford's, did he say lifestyle and attitude? And basically was questioning them over the last year. Well, you've picked him throughout that time. So you're telling us that basically, reading between the lines, he's got a questionable lifestyle and attitude, or a far from ideal lifestyle and attitude. And despite that, you've carried on picking him. Why? Why have you carried on picking him if he's got a questionable lifestyle and attitude? And that now he's addressed that, he's going to be back to his best. You shouldn't have been picking him if that wasn't right. And now you're saying that he's going to be back to his best, and then you drop him. It's proofs in the pudding, innit? If it works, we go and win 2 or 3-0, then everyone goes, right, great. And if he comes on and he looks hungry, I'll show you kind of mentality, and he gets the winning goal, then it's worked. It didn't work, did it? Because we didn't score a goal. It's just weird. So, never thought I'd see the day when I'm sat here talking about the fact Rashford probably should have started. And you're always going to get some top reds, aren't you, going, well, you're never happy, you want him to be dropped, and then when he is dropped, you're bloody moaning about it. I'm not moaning about the fact he's been dropped. I think the timing is just absolute plain weird. As I say, unless something's gone on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So, look, I don't think a point's the end of the world, and I think this is where we are. We're not a team that's going to be challenging at the top end of the Premier League. My prediction is still that I think we'll finish between 5th and 8th, and I think we will. And a team that finishes in those positions, probably going away and getting a point at Palace isn't a bad result. We now need to beat Tottenham, and I don't see us beating Villa away. But you beat Tottenham, you say, right, okay, 2 wins out of 3. From 2 of those games being away from home, that's all right. That's decent. But frustrating in that we played so well, but couldn't get over the line in that first half. Interesting again, I think with the shape of the team was interesting today, particularly that first 20 minutes. Dalot was pretty much playing centre mid, and Eriksen kept going over to the left, not left back as such from Eriksen, but just over to that left hand side. And you see other teams do that all the time. You see those like John Stones has been doing it for City, where he almost plays like a hybrid role, where he's a centre back, but he's also he's like a half back almost, if people remember what that position is. And you see often now, like Trent Alexander-Arnold is a perfect example of it. Fullbacks that go and pretty much just play in midfield. And I always think we've always looked pretty rigid in the way that we've set up, and we're not very disciplined positionally. Certainly last year we weren't. We got caught in the wrong positions. But this looks purposeful. This isn't just a player wandering into a position. This has obviously been done to create more space for us, or to give them a different problem. So I'm seeing attempts at a more sophisticated approach from United, which is good to see. And in terms of, I suppose, signs of progress, first half was really, really good. In fact, I'd say probably for the first 50 or 55 minutes, I thought we played really well today. It was just that finishing touches we're not quite there. Rasmus clearly needs game time. He looked a bit rusty when he came on. Ball came into him, his first touch was like it went 5-10 yards away from him. But the rest of the team, that back four looks nice and settled. 2 clean sheets in a row for them in the league. Eriksen having a bit of a renaissance. I think you can play Eriksen in certain games, you can't play him in others. Ugarte obviously will end up being, I'm pretty sure anyway, the main guy. Strange that he didn't start again, but okay. I don't think we particularly suffered as a result of that. De Ligt continues to impress, looks really, really good. Again, if he and Martinez can stay fit, that's decent. We look like the back four is pretty good. If we can sort that midfield out with Ugarte coming in, then great. I do wonder as the season goes on if Bruno's got to score goals and got to assist goals, because that's what he's in the team to do. And if he doesn't, his flaws become more and more highlighted. And I'm never going to be one to be shouting for Bruno not to play, because I love the guy. I really, really do. But, and he's always the one that probably has something in his locker that's going to unlock a defence, or even he could play really poorly, but he's got an assist or a goal in him. He's been not great in the last few games, really. And I thought today he was particularly poor. And in terms of shape, I think we sacrifice a little bit to keep Bruno in the team, as I mentioned last night in my preview. I think maybe moving forward we need to have him a little bit deeper as a double eight with Mainu, or perhaps Casemiro comes in place of Bruno. That's never going to happen. But he's got to offer more than he offered today. I thought he was particularly poor today. So frustrating we didn't win. It's a type of game though, isn't it? I think that we probably would have lost last season, having done so well. So it's not the end of the world. It's a point. Got to go and beat Tottenham next week now, and obviously got FC Twente in the Europa League. The Rashford thing is weird, and I think any progress he was making has been stalled by Ten Hag's decision and the reaction of the player himself, which wasn't good enough in my view. There we go. Glazers out.